There it is.
Cool.
Here we
Cool.
are.
Here we are in the flesh. Not really. Via Zoom.
Literally the opposite.
I know. Good morning, Ugly Mug followers. It is your social media department, some of us here at Ugly Mug Marketing, Lydia and Hannah, tuning in live here with you today. We're going to be talking about time management and managing how Lydia and I manage our time, how we manage almost 30 different Facebook pages and Instagram accounts.
Mhm.
I don't even think that's including our own. And how we're able to juggle all the things, creating content, how we find time to create content, how we find time to do graphic design, what our typical day in the life schedule looks like. We're going to talk about something that we're not always perfect at, but something that we are constantly striving for, which is called time blocking. And how we want to move forward to the concept of blocking out weeks to complete certain tasks. So that's what we're going to be chatting about today. Whether you're tuning in with us live, thank you so much for watching. Um, and if you're watching this later, we hope that you have some good takeaways from this, even if you aren't managing 30 Facebook pages, even if you're just trying to keep up with your one Facebook page for your business and your Instagram account, plus your personal pages. Hey, guys, that's still 4 pages that you're trying to keep up with and manage. And it is still a lot. And I can admit that my Instagram game and my personal life and my Facebook game are they're not as strong as it is for my clients, because sometimes I just want to completely log off of social media once I'm done with work. But of course, that doesn't always happen. I'm scrolling, but I'm not necessarily posting. But anyway, I'm going to let Lydia kind of kick us off. Lydia, can you talk to us a little bit about what a typical day looks like for you as a social media coordinator?
Well, every day is different. I know some people in certain jobs in certain industries, that's not the case, but I actually love that most of my days, generally, at least the tasks that I'm doing, are very different day to day. But as Hannah kind of mentioned, we strive as a way to stay organized and make sure that we are doing things in a timely manner and we're staying organized. We try to time block. So we try to, let's see, how do I say this? Every day at certain times, I do the same things every day. So those are, I get in, I usually get to the office between 7:45 and 8 a.m. And get here, get my computer out, get all my notebooks ready. And typically the day before, so this is at the end of my work days, I'm planning what I'm going to be doing the following day. And so I should already have my Google Calendar filled out with all of my tasks. And I do also typically try to handwrite those in a little planner that I have, because I'm very tactile in that way. It's very satisfying for me to physically mark out something and check it off when I'm done. Very violently scratch it out sometimes if it's a big task or project. So kind of have 2 things that I'm looking at. So just reminding myself what I'm going to be doing that day, looking at my emails. So checking all emails in the morning. Some days that is quick, some days that is not at all a quick task. And that is something that I think a lot of us at Ugly Mug, it's definitely a learning curve having to handle an email inbox, especially when, like Hannah said, we have 30 clients that we are dealing with. And sometimes urgent things come up. And so it's juggling those urgent things with things that are also really important that need to happen that day as well. So that's kind of what my very first thing in the morning looks like, checking emails. And then right after that, I have another time block that repeats every single day in my calendar. That is Ads Manager check-in. So again, some days that can be relatively quick, and other days, I go in and I'm checking all of my clients' ads, looking at their cost per results. If I have, if I'm targeting like multiple audiences in one campaign, looking at which audience is performing the best, looking at the objectives that are doing well for them. So sometimes things are running smooth and they're looking great and that's awesome. So it's a little bit of a quicker thing. And other times, you know, you notice things that need to be fixed. And so it's taking note of those. Usually it's not the time that I'm making those adjustments. I'm taking note of them and they're going to be done in a timely manner. But just having that check in to make sure that I'm staying on top, knowing what's happening with all of my clients and their campaigns, I think is really important. And I do actually think that closer to the time that I had just started at Ugly Mug, I think I had only scheduled that maybe like 2 times a week, maybe like a Tuesday and a Thursday or something. Maybe it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then as I started doing it, I was like, no, this is definitely something that needs to happen every day. And even if you don't manage multiple pages, if you don't work for an agency or whatever, if you just have one business page, I think it's just as important. Checking on your page every single day, checking on if you're running ads, checking your ads every single day. And it's very nice to have that repeated time. So Angela's asking, which one is this? We're talking about yeah, we're talking about time management and how we the strategies and tactics that Hannah and I try to use to stay on top of our everyday life in social media world. So do email, do ads manager, and then typically a lot of my mornings is just client work. Depending on the time of the week or kind of the time of the month, it could look like creating a handful of strategies that are going to be turned into ads pretty soon. There are a variety of things that kind of fall under client work, but that's just kind of the general gist of it. And then taking lunch around the same time every day. And then coming back from lunch, I think Hannah and I are the same way. And Hannah, you can jump in, but we just work a lot better and focus a lot better in the mornings. And so the afternoons, they seem to drag by and we're like way less motivated, and we're human, I'll admit it. But so typically in the afternoons is when I will try to schedule things that really just don't require as much deep thought or focus. So that might be reading for like whatever book we're reading as a team. I find that I just prefer to do that in the afternoon. It's just kind of more relaxing. And then what else? I find putting ads in ads manager not to be a mindless or monotonous task, but it's far less deep thought provoking than creating a strategy.
Yeah,
Do you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But sometimes if I have like a lot of ads that I have to do all at one time, I like find it a lot easier to focus and do that in the morning.
Really?
And in the afternoon, if I have like any reporting to do,
Yeah.
or I'm sending weekly updates to my clients, letting them know what we worked on last week, what we're doing this week, different things like that. That is typically, I guess, more of like the administrative tasks will happen in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And kind of, I guess you could call it busy work tasks is
Yeah.
what I would do more so in the afternoon. Cause yeah, like Lydia was saying, I am exactly the same way. I focus so much better in the morning. That is my time when I'm like, okay, this is like Lydia and I established what our goals are going to be. And if Lydia hasn't already mentioned this, we send each other our goals every single morning. And Lydia and I email each other our top 3 most important things that we need to get done for the day. And then at the end of the day, we send an email and we highlight it in green if we completed it, and we highlight it in red if we did not complete it. And then if we didn't complete it, we have to state why it is that we did not complete it. And the reasons vary, but that's really truly to hold us for us to be able to hold each other accountable for not completing those tasks or not making that a priority. And something that is consistently said in our office is do not let the urgent beat out the important. And that is very, very easy to do in our industry and Lydia and I's everyday life with our clients. It's like, wait, this is going on sale. We need this to post right now. We need, all of these different things just come up unexpectedly. And we can't blame the client for that because sometimes they don't know that these things are going to come up either. So it's really important for us to, like Lydia's saying, block out these certain pieces of time in our day where we know we're going to be working on maybe, and it doesn't even have to be that specific. it can just be like client work, like Lydia was saying. And a lot of things could fall into client work. It could be, I'm going to be writing copy for all of my clients. I'm going to be creating graphics, which those two things together are essentially, when Lydia says strategy, that's what we're talking about during that time. We send them a slide deck with um, essentially mock-ups of what their ads are going to look like for the following month or for the following quarter, whatever it may be. And so yeah, that's really important for us to send those goals, to hold each other accountable. And sorry, I've totally now diverged Lydia off of doing those tasks that are somewhat mindless there in the afternoon. And what we found is that this doesn't just apply in work life. I think that this definitely applies in our personal lives too. Um,
Mhm.
like for me, I know Lydia is a get up in the morning and work out in the morning kind of person. Um,
Not every single day, but I can do it sometimes.
yeah, but I really admire that about you. Like this morning, she was like telling me, she was like waking her husband up, like, you said we were working out this morning, like, get up. Yeah, she was yelling. No. But anyway, I am more in like the afternoon person. Like the morning time for me, I'm like, I need my tea or I need my vanilla latte, which I've been on a huge vanilla latte kick.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's different.
I don't
Me
know what's
too.
happening to me. I'm a changed woman,
Yeah.
but I have to have oat milk because I think I have a lactose problem. Fun fact. So anyway, like I need that time in the morning to really get focused, really get grounded in my work. And then when I'm done at the end of the day, I really have to like force myself to work out, first of all. But second of all, I just like that time better. I come home, I get my workout in for 30 minutes to an hour, and then I take a shower and then I can relax, make dinner with my fiance, do whatever else we need to do, which our our list is long because we've just moved and we're trying to get our lives in order right now. Oh, Richard said vanilla mocha. Is
Yeah,
that
that sounds really good.
Richard, is that your drink of choice? Guys, if you were tuning in, tell us what your like go-to morning drink of choice is.
Yeah.
Some people it's just water. And I
That's
commend you for that.
but I am missing my tea.
Yeah, I
I'm a
know.
peppermint tea person, by the way, if it's important to anyone. And I'm like, I have a refined palate because they ask me, they're like, do you need any like honey or any milk or sugar? I'm like, no, just tea. And then Hannah gets in there. She's like, I want an Earl Grey tea. Get as much honey as you can. It's like half honey, half tea.
It's
Now I'm
mostly
exposing
it's
her.
mostly honey. It's mostly hot water and honey. It's not even tea.
Not tea. They never put tea in it. She just doesn't even know.
Oh my goodness. Ooh, Tori said dark roast with a little sugar. Love it. Love it. Love it. Um, so as Lydia and I are kind of talking about, all right, mornings, we both check in our email. And I think that one thing that's important to note too is that we are not in our email all day long. At least we try not to be in our email
Yeah,
all
we're
day long.
trying.
We definitely have those moments of weakness where we want to have our email tab open at all times during the day. But let me tell you what, having your email open all day allows the urgent to take place of the important. You have to close out your email. You have to have restrictions on when you're going to allow yourself to have your email open. It is so easy for us to be connected. We have smartwatches, we have our laptops, we have cell phones and iPads, and it is so easy to be distracted. And so we have to remove those distractions. I know that Hannah Broom on our team, which I admire the heck out of her for this, but Hannah does not even have her email connected to her phone whatsoever. Not her personal email, not her work email, not a zilch. And I think that's huge because that can become such a distraction too. If I'm making a post, for a client on my phone for on Instagram. And then I'm like, oh, I see a little notification next to my email. Then I'm just so tempted to go and check that and get distracted by that when the
Mhm.
task at hand was really just to make the post on Instagram or to, make the phone call or to respond to the text message back to the client. And so it is really, really important to identify what those times are going to be. And in our office, we have a rule that we have to respond to emails And it doesn't have to be a full response. It can just say, thanks, I see this, I'll get back to you on this later. But we need to have some sort of response within 4 hours. So the way that Lydia and I have strategically selected those times to check our email has a lot to do with that 4 hour rule for us internally. And we also have that same expectation with our clients, whether they know that or not, but we try to be as responsive as possible. I don't want someone to have to wait a day for me to get back to them about running or starting an ad. I want them to feel like they're going to get a response and get an answer from me today, even if it's not the full mock-up of what the ad is going to be. But at least I've seen it and I know that that needs to be a priority for me later in the afternoon or even first thing that next morning. And where this idea of time blocking really comes from, a few a few months ago, and honestly, actually, I feel like I can't keep track of time. COVID time is a real thing. Like
Yeah.
yesterday was March, wasn't it? I don't even feel like it is almost Thanksgiving. Like,
I don't even remember the 6 weeks that we worked from home.
yeah, I don't either. All feels like a blur. But at some point this year, Wayne asked us, every single person on the team, to put together their ideal week. And this idea comes from, I believe, Michael Hyatt. And so we would put together, oh my gosh, Angela said, lost my emails for 3 weeks, mini vacation, COVID.
That sounds kind of nice.
Oh, that sounds nice. Maybe I should just delete my email for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But Michael Hyatt, essentially, he talks about the ideal week, and he actually has a planner that is specifically designed. And Wayne actually has this planner, and I believe he still uses it. But I think he sent us a new one that he might be switching
Yeah.
to in 2021. I think
Which
he sent
stresses
that
me
to us.
out.
Yeah. But anyway, it's the same concept that we're talking about, blocking out those key pieces of time. Are there recurring events that happen for you every single day that you can say, all right, at this time every day, I'm going to work on this? We also incorporate this at the beginning of training with our team. The CRM system that we use is called Entreport. And Entreport has these courses that they built out by their CEO. I can't remember her last name, but I think her first name's Lena. I believe so. Anyway, she has these courses called Driver's Ed. And Driver's Ed, I mean, Lydia, remember the videos? So we love Lena, but
She's
she's
a little awkward. She's very wise. She
yes.
knows a lot. It's a little cringy to watch, but
It's
still
just a
beneficial.
little cringy to watch the on video stills. But it's okay, Lena. We love you. We love you because the content is so good. It's worth pushing through them because she talks about recurring tasks. She talks about tracking your time and figuring out what the buckets of time and how you are truly spending your day. And one of the exercises that she has you do, and it is an exercise that we do very early on when a new employee is onboarding at Ugly Mug, is we have them track their time every single day for a week, and they have to track what they're doing every 15 minutes. And the goal of this is to figure out if there are clusters of things that people are doing, whether it be every single day or at a specific time of every day, or what are those different buckets of or themes in your day that you're consistently doing every Tuesday or every other day or every single day? And how can you build out? Now I'm kind of combining it with Michael Hyatt's theory, but how can you use those clusters to build out your ideal week so that you can optimize your time and be as efficient as possible? Because we're all busy people. We all have things going on at work. We all have crazy things going on in our personal lives too that are trying to distract us throughout the day, or work once we're back at home with our families, we're distracted by thinking about whatever's going on at work. And so how can we cluster our times, and how can we establish um, opportunities for accountability and completing those tasks and getting through getting through the things that we need to get done for the day so that we can have an efficient day. So that at the end of the day, we're not going home feeling stressed about what we didn't do at work or what we didn't get over to our client. And having an ideal week, something that you're always working towards, is something that's super helpful. Um, Lydia, did you do that exercise with us? Did you create your ideal week? I couldn't remember.
think I did, and I have no idea where it lives anymore.
I know. I'm actually gonna see if I can find mine in Google Drive here really quick, because I want to share this with y'all. Because what was so cool about it to me was Wayne said, I don't want this just to be your ideal week for your work life at Ugly Mug Marketing. I want you to also incorporate some of the things um, that are important to you in your personal life too, and what your ideal week would look like. Um, yeah, we did this. Okay, so this was 2019, it says, but I know that I've updated it this year. But I'm gonna share this. I'm actually gonna share my screen with y'all because I want you to kind of see what this whole kind of, I guess, theory or way of managing your time really can look like. So on Michael Hyatt's website, and I will link over to the specific blog where he talks about what those different blocks of time could be or could look like, how you can organize this on your own. Because the way that I actually outlined my ideal week here, I mimicked off of what I saw on his blog that Wayne had shared with us. And so it's literally goes by every 30 minutes or so, possibly every 15 minutes. And it just shows you what I'm constantly trying to strive to be, or how I'm striving to have a perfect or ideal week. And y'all, it is never perfect, never. But this is just a nice reminder for myself, a nice reminder for Lydia, for us to remember those time blocks, because it's very easy to schedule a meeting outside of one of these time blocks, but being consistent in what we offer to our clients. Hey, I'm available on Tuesdays from 10 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon for meetings, obviously with the exception of lunch, you can see on here. But these are the times that I'm going to be available consistently to my clients to meet with them, to have phone calls, to hop on a Zoom call, whatever they need. That's going to be my available time for them. That's not to say that I'm not available on Wednesdays, but Wednesdays for me are my focus days. Mondays and Tuesdays are very heavy on meetings and meeting preparation for us internally as a team. So Wednesday really for me feels like the first day that I'm able to really hunker down and just focus on my clients. So I reserve that day. I try not to schedule any meetings, even internally, on Wednesdays. So help me God, so that I can really just focus on my clients. But you can see here, um, I used to have, so this is a little out of date. I used to have a really long commute to and from work every day when I lived in Louisiana. I now live in North Carolina and work remotely, and my co-working space office is only 4 minutes from my house. So that's my commute.
Delivered.
Yes, that is my commute these days. But even considering that time, and your driving time, your travel time to and from things, I have in here time to cook dinner, and then free time where, if my fiance and I love playing like card games or watching Netflix or whatever, like that's my free time for that. Then I like to get ready for bed and then try and read too, because that kind of just naturally helps put me to sleep. And I need to get back into that habit because that's actually a habit I have not been in. And then even scheduling times, like I have Taco Tuesday date night on here. That's something that's important for my fiance and I, because we both work from home to some extent. We're around each other a lot, but being intentional about those date nights and those times where we put our cell phones aside, don't even bring them whatsoever, and just spend some quality time together, whether we're making tacos at home or going out for tacos. And I want to know, where have you had the best taco? Who has the best tacos? I don't care if you're in Alexandria, if you're in Texas, wherever you are. Tell us in the comments where you've had the best tacos, if you're as much of a taco fan. Um,
Courtney loves your organization.
Ooh, Courtney, thank you.
Courtney, you need to make an ideal week.
I'm trying. Yes, this is the ideal week. So, and Michael Hyatt's whole thing too with this is like this should your ideal week is exactly that. It is what it is. In the perfect world where nothing ever goes wrong, everything goes smoothly, exactly how you want it to be planned. This is what I'm striving for. This is not at all what some of my weeks look like. I might have a good couple 3 days in there, and then the other 2 days are just absolute chaos. But this is what I'm consistently striving for. And then on Fridays, for me as the head of a department, it's important for me to also be thinking and working um, on the department, not working in the department. I know Wayne always used this term of taking time for himself as the owner of Ugly Mug Marketing to be working on our business instead of in our business. So instead of doing those nitty gritty client things, he's more working on big picture stuff. Where is Ugly Mug Marketing going next year? Where are they going in the next 5 years? What are goals that he has for each of us individually, for the upcoming quarter? What is it that we need to work on as a team? How can we grow closer as a team? How can we be more efficient? It's important to schedule out and block out time for yourself to think about those things for your business, because I think for so many small business owners and entrepreneurs, and people who work in small business, the struggle can be that you're constantly doing stuff for your clients or constantly working on those day-to-day things that you forget about the big picture. And sometimes those ideas of the big picture are so abstract, um, and it's really hard to prioritize or see the value in setting aside time to work on those things. But there is such a tremendous value, because if you're constantly working away, working away, working away at all of those little things in your day, what are you working for? What are you working towards? What is going to be that next step for you, for your business, for your team, for the people who directly report to you? It's important to take time, prioritize that time, set a meeting with yourself, and make it a priority. And that's another concept too. I'm sorry, I've been talking so much, Lydia. I know, please interrupt me at any time you want to. But that's another thing that Wayne tells us to do too. And that's one thing that I really appreciate about Wayne is his encouragement in having the ideal week, in clustering our time. But he always tells us to set a meeting with yourself and treat it as if you've set a meeting with someone on your team, with a vendor for your business, with somebody who reports to you, a team meeting. Treat it that same way. Set a meeting with yourself to do and knock out whatever it is that you need to do. Because that time is valuable. It's crucial. Your time is valuable. Those are important things you need to be working on, whether it's that future work like we were talking about, or maybe it's something that you've been pushing off for weeks and weeks, and now it's a month out from it. And you're like, where the heck has the time gone? Schedule meetings with yourself, turn your cell phone off. Um, because I think that is a huge distraction for people too. After watching The Social Dilemma, which Lydia
I was
watched
gonna bring
too.
it up.
Lydia and I both watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix. If you have not watched it, we highly recommend watching it. But one of the things that really kind of like caught my attention the most was the power of just a simple notification coming up on your phone, and our tendency and the need that we feel in that moment that we see that notification come up to pick up our phone and check out whatever it is.
Mhm.
So for me, in setting healthy boundaries for myself, I've actually turned off all notifications. And so the only time that I look at any sort of notification or incoming text message are the times that I have allotted for myself to be doing that. it's not whenever my phone or when Facebook tells me that I need to be looking at my phone or looking at a notification or responding to an email or a text message. If something is really, really urgent from a client or from my team, I know that they will pick up the phone and they will call me, or they'll message me on GChat, because I do keep that open all day. Since I am remote and outside of the office, I know that there are those urgent things that come up. But for me, that was a huge takeaway from that. And really that directly ties into this idea of time blocking. Because how can I focus on my clients if I'm distracted by my phone or whatever's coming up next on Facebook or another email that I got? I want to be in control of when I check and look at those things.
I was gonna say too with I was gonna bring up Social Dilemma because it's just so relevant right now anyways. But I don't know if it was after I watched that or it may have been just before it, and then I watched it and I was like, oh good, I'm on the right track. I don't remember which one it was. But I had my Gmail notifications on for a while. And just like Hannah, I mean, I'm not as drastic as Hannah. I do have some notifications on my phone. But part of that is because I also know that since Hannah's remote, she might have to call me sometimes. And so I try to keep it within a few feet on my desk, and my clients, contact me by myself. So anyways, I used to have my Gmail notifications on. And even if I had my Gmail tab closed on my laptop, I found myself like with a very, I don't know the word, but a repetitive habit, like clockwork almost. It's like I'm doing something, if I'm writing some copy, it's like I get through a couple things of copy. My brain is like, I need a break. And the way that it would take that break is to literally just automatically reach over, unlock my phone, see if I had any notifications, because part of that thing they talk about in Social Dilemma is we train ourselves to need that satisfaction, right? And it like gives us actual like dopamine or whatever it is, like it sends signals and it's like we crave it. And I really found myself in that pattern and always checking in. And then it's like my Gmail's close to my laptop, but I'm looking and I'm like, oh, there's an email came in. I see it on my phone. Let me pull it back up on there and go check out what that is. Yeah. So, like I said, I don't remember the timing of it. It's probably been a couple months now, but I've turned off all notifications on my phone for my email, and I don't even have the little badge number on it. So I have no idea if I'm just looking at the app. I have no idea if there are any emails. There could be 20 emails. And now I very, very rarely, sometimes on the weekends, if I'm really bored, I'll just open it. I don't really reply to any emails on the weekend, but I'll just kind of check because I'm curious. And it's really satisfying actually to open it and see like, oh, there's like 10 emails in here. Like that would have distracted me 10 times in whatever I was doing at that moment, So that's been really helpful and powerful and a noticeable change. I still do it because sometimes I'm in a texting conversation with a client or something, but I hardly ever am in that pattern anymore of like clockwork, turning, unlocking my phone, checking it. And it becomes such an addictive cycle too, when you're checking it and you don't see anything. And you're just like, no, I need a notification. It's so
There's
sad.
Someone who's liking or commenting or doing something.
Someone needs me. Which is funny because then we complain because everyone needs us, but it's like, no, we want people to need us. It's such a crazy cycle of psychology. But if you have not watched The Social Dilemma, we both highly recommend that you do. It's kind of scary too, though, because we are a part of the industry that they are talking about in the entire movie. I don't think that we play as large of a role, obviously, as these developers at Google who figured out that notifications were such a powerful thing. But still, working in social media, it's a really powerful thing to learn about. So anyways, that's my soapbox about Gmail notifications.
Yeah, but I think that also kind of brings up another point and thing that we talk about very early on when we're onboarding someone too. When we're having them track those 15 minutes, the reason there's a couple different reasons that we do that. We want to help them develop what their ideal week is going to be and figure out what those kind of time blocks are they're going to need to have in their schedule. But another thing is to see how many times they get distracted. Because if Lydia is saying she gets 10 notifications and they're all at different times, let's say, there's a statistic, and I'm not sure which book it is from, but it is in some book that we've read about time management here at Ugly Mug Marketing. And the stat is this, that for every distraction, if you're in the middle of something and you're in deep focus, for every distraction that you get, it takes you 15 minutes to shift from that distraction back into whatever it is. Yeah, back into full focus mode. Is it 15 minutes?
It actually, I think it might just be like 6 minutes, but still.
That's what it is. And yes, it's in our employee handbook. Yes, it's 6 minutes. It's 6 minutes to get it, 6 minutes that you're
doing whatever it is.
And then like you're focusing, you see the notification. It's not in the 6 minutes that it takes you to reset and get back into focusing on whatever it is that you're working on. That doesn't even include the time that you were distracted. So you could be distracted for 10 minutes looking at one email and replying back to it. And then now it's going to take you another 6 minutes to reset. And so, yes, in our employee handbook, it says 6 minutes matters. And so don't allow yourself to be distracted, which is a really hard thing for us to do, because we do, as humans, we have so many different distractions and so many other things that we're thinking about in the middle of our day too, that do not pertain to whatever it is that we're working on or what we're doing, or even when we're with our families, there are distractions. And so those 6 minutes matter. And so we can't allow those 6 minutes of transitioning out and transitioning back in, plus the time for the distraction itself to take place. We can't allow those things to be in our day. But what we can do is incorporate time blocks for checking our phone and checking our email, or if you need a little social media break in your day and you want to throw that on your calendar as something to look forward to. Hey, I get to check my Facebook after I get done working on this client work. You know, whatever it is that you need in your day to keep you moving forward and keep you motivated, go ahead and incorporate that in your ideal week. I mean, a lot of people have social media, and we don't just have it just to have it. We have it because we want to look at it. We want to post pictures. We want to see what our friends and family are up to, especially during times of COVID when maybe we haven't been able to travel and see family members and such. So incorporate those times and put the cell phone aside, turn off your Gmail notifications or Outlook or whatever you've got going on, because they are so incredibly distracting. And what you will find too, when you feel more in control of looking at your Gmail account for Lydia or looking at Facebook, is gosh, it really starts to bother you when you see how many notifications other people have and how distracted they get when they're trying to just sit down and have lunch with you or have dinner together. It will drive you crazy. And then it will inspire you to tell them to watch Social Dilemma, and then they'll turn off their notifications too. So basically, this entire chat today has just been us advocating for you to watch The Social Dilemma and incorporate time blocks.
So another interesting thing, which I could probably talk about this for forever and I won't, but if you don't, not regularly, but if you've never looked at, if you have an iPhone, if you've never looked at your screen time section, it's really funny actually, because you would assume, and I'm really proud of this, you would assume that since I work in social media, right, my screen time would be like, I don't know, maybe not 8 hours, but you would think it would be a lot. And obviously this is just my phone screen time is what it's calculating. If it was my computer screen time, that would definitely be 8 hours. But I think I average like right around 4 hours, which that's probably a good bit in the morning. And definitely the majority of that is at night after I've left work. And I won't tell you what my husband's is, I will value his privacy, but I will tell you that it is more than mine. And he also works 40 hours a week in an office job. So I'm proud of that. And I try to keep it around 4 hours. I feel like that's a healthy amount. I know plenty of people that probably are lower than that. And I know plenty of people that are higher than that. But for me, that seems healthy. But one interesting thing that you can look at when you go there is you can look at your number of pickups. That's what they call it. The number of times you check your phone, basically, which I think is super interesting. And I tried to see if I could go back or how far I could go back and look. I think I can only go back maybe like a month or a few weeks. So I can't actually see because I was curious the number of pickups that I would have had before I turned off those Gmail notifications. I would say it's probably way more back then than it is now. But just like being aware of how many times you're checking your phone throughout a day it's humbling, really. But again, just like noticing those habits, and there are actionable steps that can be taken if that's something you want to manage and lower. Notifications, I think, is a big one because it really is something that we've trained ourselves as a society to crave. And so if you're limiting yourself on the notifications, I think it took me a few days. Like I was still in a habit of just checking it all the time, even right after I turned those notifications off. But you start to come out of it and it becomes a new normal, and you just kind of, you go out of that habit of having to check it every 5 minutes or whatever it is. And so if you've never looked at that, I would urge you to. I think I looked at that. I was comparing that with a client in a client meeting a couple weeks ago, and his was like a pretty high daily average of time, and his messages notifications was like off the hook or whatever. And I was like, dang, I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
I'm just looking at some of the comments here, people that are tuning in. I see Audrey's watching. James Scott Mullins. Okay. On the taco side, here in North Carolina, I was recommended about 2 weeks ago. Okay. It's a
and he has a link.
Oh, I'm so ready for this, James. Thank you for sharing that. I see Stephanie is joining us. Hi, Stephanie. And Michael's watching too. Hey, guys. Welcome. We're talking about managing time blocking. We're coming up here to the end of our segment, though. We've been chatting for quite a while, Lydia. 43 minutes.
Oh, wow. That was longer than I thought.
Yeah, I know. It's longer than I thought, too.
Hannah, what's the best tacos you've ever had?
Okay.
Homemade.
No, the best tacos that I've had. It is called Jim's Tacos.
Okay.
They are in Raleigh. They're in North Raleigh. Guys, I was like,
do you recently have them?
I recently had them and they changed my life.
Oh no.
It's literally the best taco. Before that, though, the second best taco, which I still would say they're number 2, is the street tacos at El Patio in Leesville, Louisiana by Fort Polk. You need them. Yeah, you can't beat them. And then third would be my fiance when he like marinates the meat with he puts like cilantro in there, he puts cinnamon, he puts fresh lime juice, all that. It's our homemade street tacos after that. But number 1, Jim's Tacos, and they spell it like gym, like I'm going to the gym.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they are parked in front of a Valero gas station, so that's how you know it is.
That's how you know it's good.
Oh my gosh, because actually the number 1, aside from street tacos, the number 1 best breakfast taco I've ever had, I'll have to find the name of it, but it's in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
And it is also parked in a Valero gas station parking lot. So I'm just saying, whatever Valero gas station parking lot, whatever connections they have with the street taco game or just the taco game in general, I'm here for it. So any other taco food truck recommendations, I'm here for. Also, if you haven't already told us what your favorite drink is in the morning, we love to hear what your favorite beverage is to drink in the morning too.
And how it affects you if you don't drink it. That's always an interesting one.
I know.
Yesterday, Jessica on our team, if you don't know and you're watching, Jessica's addicted to, she drinks English breakfast, but she has her whole special like skim milk and however many Splendas, whatever it is. She gets it from Tamp and Grind. Well, it's like I'm leaving for lunch at noon, and she walks into the little room as I'm leaving, and she's talking to Mara, and she's like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna go get my third tea of the day." I'm like, and she's like, "Well, actually, it would be fourth because I had one this morning at the house." I'm like, "That's a mom." She's
Well,
pulled up
another thing to add into your schedule. Time to
tea
go
break,
get your tea.
literally.
Oh my goodness. Yes. So I hope that y'all have enjoyed this. I know Lydia and I have really enjoyed kind of sharing about Ideal Week. If you want a copy of I'm more than happy to share this with anyone. It's really nothing crazy. But actually, if you didn't see this, earlier we were talking about the Ideal Week and blocking out specific times in your day and your schedule. Your Ideal Week is supposed to be something that you're always striving to have. You're striving for your Mondays to follow this flow. You're striving for your Tuesdays, your Wednesdays, your Thursdays, every day of the week to kind of fall into these specific buckets. I know when I follow this Ideal Week, when I actually feel like I've aligned with an entire day like this, I feel so much better, so much more accomplished. Like I seriously would just feel like $1,000,000. I'm actually going to update this too. I'm with since I've moved from Louisiana, I don't have that commute anymore. This does kind of affect what my day-to-day schedule looks like a little bit. So I'm feeling inspired to adjust this slightly, to update it. And if you want access to this, I am more than happy to share it with you. I will also link in the comments when we get done here chatting today. I will link to the Michael Hyatt journal or planner, where it's really focused on the Ideal Week. I will also link to the blog post where he talks about the benefits of the Ideal Week and kind of how to set up this framework for the Ideal Week. Because guys, it can tremendously impact your life. It will make your days go by far smoother. It will make you feel more prepared when you're coming into your day, especially if you are planning out your week in advance, or even if you're planning out just the next day before you clock out of work at the end of the day. Is there a way for you to be able to plan out exactly what you're going to do the next day? Do you know your priorities for the next day? Do you have someone you could use, like Lydia and I use each other for that accountability? Is there someone that you could send your priorities to and then have to have an accountability buddy to follow up with at the end of the day? Hey, here, I actually did what I said I was going to do. Or, oh my gosh, my life is crazy. I did not get to this for X, Y, and Z reason. Implementing time blocking, accountability, not allowing distractions to get the best of us. That is how we, Lydia and I, and honestly the rest of the team at Ugly Mug Marketing, that is what we're constantly striving for. That is how we are trying to get better and more efficient at our day-to-day jobs. And honestly, our personal lives too, because I love using this tactic and this method in my personal life. Also, it has done tremendous things for me there too. Lydia, do you have anything else to add? Any wisdom to impart on the people before we sign off?
I don't think I have anything. I'm all drained of all my wisdom.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in with Lydia and I here today. I know we've been rambling for now 49 minutes. We probably could have talked for longer, but we're going to cut ourselves off.
Agave.
Angela said agave and Lafayette. All right, I'm gonna try that out next time I'm in Louisiana, which will actually be next week. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will catch you next time. I think next week Mara is actually going to be coming to you live for our weekly webinars here, where we're just chatting about anything and everything that has to do with business, marketing, social media, entrepreneurship, all the things. Tune in next week, and Mara is going to be chatting with you about a surprise topic, because I actually don't know what her topic is going to be.
We hope she knows, but
we hope she knows. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Thanks for watching.